Welcome back. As always, be sure to leave a comment, tell me how to improve myself. I'm always looking for improvement, and your comment helps out a ton. Also, be sure to check out my other channel, YC Games. That's YC Space Games. I realize there's actually quite a few channels that are like that, but mine, there's a little click thing you can click at the end of the video if you want to wait for that, or just look up yourself either way. Without further ado, let's get right into the video. So, a lot of the little leaks we've gotten through and Easter eggs from like the Battleborn Easter egg, it seems we will no longer be on Pandora for Borderlands 3. And that sounds great. A lot of people are on board with it. That seems to be what people really want. And I'm one of them. I think that's a great idea. But then I took a second, stopped and thought about it, and I thought, you know, there's really a lot of Pandora we haven't explored yet. So maybe the question, should we maybe stay on Pandora for a little bit longer? Now I'm going to split this video into two parts. Like, just the first half is going to be why we should leave. The second half is why we should stay. I'm going to let you guys decide which one do you guys actually think should happen. I'm still split 50-50. I mean, I'm all for leaving, exploring new places, but then again, I like Pandora. I enjoy killing things on this planet, so I really don't want to leave it that much, but if it means we're killing things on other planets, I'm okay with that too. So let's get into that part. Like I kind of mentioned earlier, we have seen a lot of Pandora. We've seen relatively the same creatures. We've seen the same enemies. We've seen the same different factions, same manufacturers. So it would be nice to get a little relief from that. You know, go to a new planet, see new enemy factions, not just the scabs, the bandits. You know, get bandit-like enemies, but maybe not them be actual bandits. Maybe make them more alien. You know, fun stuff like that we can explore on other planets. Maybe introduce some more manufacturers. With Hyperion somewhat destroyed, I'm sure we'll still see them, but it opens up new, you know, what's the Hyperion of this planet like? Because I know Hyperion was a multi-planet thing, but at the same time, I'm sure other planets are more towards different manufacturers. So that'd be kind of cool to see. Also, just new scenery in general. Obviously, between Borderlands 1 and Borderlands 2, we got new biomes, so it wasn't just all desert all the time, thank God. But maybe going to a new planet can introduce completely new things, like, you know, huge lush forests with different kinds of alien plant life. Pretty cool to see. Stuff like that. I know I kind of covered that in other videos, but this is why we should leave the planet. Also, how they're hyping it up as, you know, the big one, this is the huge game. Maybe going to a different planet would make it feel like the stakes are higher, because we're not on Pandora anymore. We're on a completely new battleground than anything we've played before in the series. So just kind of raise the stakes a little bit. The biggest thing is that we've seen a lot of Pandora, and I realize that it maybe only seem like a really small chunk, especially compared to how big it is. But if you actually kind of listen, like, you know, when you go out to the dust, they say, hey, we haven't heard from you in a few hours. So obviously you've been driving for a while, and that doesn't really mean much, but they set it up like we've seen a good chunk of what Pandora can offer. And now there's a lot we haven't seen, but it really feels like we have seen all we can see on Pandora, so it is probably better to leave. However, there are quite a few reasons I want to stay, and here's why. Now, like I said, we've done most of what we can do on Pandora, so it almost makes sense to leave, but at the same time, I don't want to really leave what we've done in the past. I'm sure a lot of people follow with us, but it feels like if we leave the planet, then maybe a lot of the stuff that we've done in the past two games aren't worth anything, because, you know, it's all on the other planet. So it doesn't matter what we do now, or what it doesn't matter what we did then. We're on a completely different planet now. It doesn't even matter. I realize that's not true. Obviously, you know, the events of Borderlands 2, saving Pandora, and all that jazz. I also realize the video games, nothing we really do doesn't matter anyway. But hey, storytelling, all that jazz. Also, leaving behind beloved characters. And I realize even when we get a spaceship, we go to different planets, whatever, we're going to take a lot of the fan favorites with us. But maybe we'll leave behind, like, Dr. Ned. I really like him. But other people don't. So maybe that's one of the ones they decide to leave behind. And I wouldn't want that. I want him to come with us. But at the same time, I understand why they would leave him behind. So that just kind of sucks in that regard. Also, and why I understand, we have seen a big chunk of Pandora, we haven't seen all of it. So, when you take, like, our world, I mean, I've lived in Michigan my whole life. I know all the animals and plant life and whatnot in this area, but just looking at pictures of stuff from like around the world, like Asia and Africa, they have completely different animals. Like, just kind of put that in perspective in the Borderlands universe, yeah, we're used to the creatures we've seen in these areas, but if we go to a different part of the planet, there can be completely new creatures, new plant life. It can be completely different. We won't even know about it because we haven't been there. And I realize that going to a new planet will let them experiment more, but Pandora's alien to us anyway. It doesn't matter what they do. They can do whatever they want. So there's really no point in leaving, just in the fact that they can make it as big or as small as they want. They can make the planet whatever they want it to. Also, I'm really interested to see how Handsome Jack's legacy will live on. I understand with him being dead and Hyperion kind of crumbling, Hyperion isn't just dead. We've seen that in Tales from the Borderlands. It's still a business. It can survive without its CEO, but it's stumbling along. And I'm curious to see what a post-Handsome Jack Pandora looks like. Obviously, we're still going to see his remnants, but it'd be really interesting to see. This is the real reason I kind of want to stay, just to see how society adapts without that tyrant, you know? Like, I would love to go back to Opportunity, like, let's say 5 years after the events of Borderlands 2, probably longer than that, actually, when I think about it, but just see Opportunity turn into a bandit town, which I'm sure eventually it will. That'd be kind of cool to see, because it would still look like it had this huge civilization in mind, but there'd be boards on windows, you know, just doors shoved everywhere. Like, it'd be a bandit town, but based on Opportunity. I think that'd be a really cool thing to see. Kind of in the same way how Borderlands 2 took Firestone from Borderlands 1 and turned it into kind of like Jack's little mining town. That was a really neat twist, because I didn't even realize it until I went back and played Borderlands 1, and then going through Borderlands 2 again, I'm like, oh, this is Firestone, holy cow, that's really cool that they brought it back. And it was one of those moments that's like, yeah, that was really smart of them to bring it back, but at the same time, have it almost unrecognizable other than the basic buildings. It was a really cool thing they did, and I kind of want to see that in 3 with, like, Sanctuary and Opportunity. Maybe Sanctuary is prospering now. Maybe it can land again and become a huge bustling city like Opportunity was supposed to be. It's just kind of a neat idea, you know, to revisit some of the fan favorites after Handsome Jack. You know, just see how society is adapting without him. I don't know. It's just kind of a neat idea. I mean, obviously we're probably going to get some audio logs saying, like, from the characters that we left behind, telling us about everything that happened, but it'd be kind of cool to see it firsthand. And I realized that that would almost mean that they would have to base at least a good chunk of the game on Pandora for even making visiting these places relevant. But even if we did go to a different planet, just to kind of start off in, like, Sanctuary as almost like a bustling city back on the ground, it'd be pretty cool to see. I doubt they would do that, because after the pre-sequel we still see Sanctuary flying around. But really, with Hyperion gone, they can land again. They can, you know, get roots and become a big city. And Opportunity is a long shot, but I do kind of want to see Opportunity as a bandit town. I think that'd just be kind of one more final FU to Jack, you know. That's about all I got to say about this subject. Yeah, if you have anything to add, please leave a comment, or just general comments in general. Like I always say, I'm always looking for improvement, and your comment helps out a ton. As always, be sure to check out my other channel, YC Games. And yeah, if you have any other video ideas, or like I said, comments on this, just leave it in comments. I try to respond to all of them. Yeah, I know this video kind of took a little longer to come out than usual. That's just because I simply kind of didn't really have any ideas for the longest time. But now I got quite a few written down, so it should be a little more frequent just whenever I find the time to actually sit down and make them. So yeah, see you on the next one. Keep your stick on the ice. We're all in this together.